I am Bryce Newberger, and this is the Kinship Chronicles, Children of the Phoenix, Chapter 34. The dawn broke and the day rose. The sun slowly began to ascend as Eldrich and Mel passed through the countryside on the last day of their trek. Finally, the horizon gave way to a giant city of alabaster stone. Blue and gold flags flowed in the wind on the ramparts. Eldrich's breath caught at the sight. The castle city was greater than he could have ever imagined. The two passed through large city gates built into a massive wall cut from stones so large they would require magic to have been moved into place. Merchants, commoners, guards, and peasants roamed about. The city was as crowded as the Ridgewood Tavern on a weeknight, but this was the early afternoon and the space was 1,000 times the size. "Stay close," Mel warned. "It is easy to get lost in a city such as this." The duo made their way past the series of gates and inner courtyards. The last gate they arrived at was guarded by 2 soldiers in golden armor. Their plate mail caught the reflection of the early sunrise, and shone as if there were drops of a star that had fallen there and were then charged with the door's protection. "What is your business in the palace?" asked the sentry. Mel retrieved a small token from his cloak. It was a golden seal depicting a crown over 5 precious gems. "I have come to speak with the king." The staunch protector suddenly looked fearful. "Make way!" he bellowed as he rapped his knuckles against the heavy doors. "The elders have come for the king." A hard clank was heard as the door shifted a bit before parting. Mel proceeded through the gate. Eldrich cast his gaze about. He was amazed at the reverence the onlookers seemed to pay them, specifically to Mel. The palace loomed high, casting a long shadow over them. Even if it were closer to midday, the shade would still have been encompassing due to the sheer height of the structure. The city was elaborate in its ancient architecture, but the palace was even more exquisite. Gold filigree crested the doors at every corner, every guard matched the 2 at the entrance, and every servant was dressed in a finery that would have put Winston to shame. He was so lost in his examination that he was surprised to find himself suddenly indoors. The walls were lined with giant paintings of battles from long ago. One canvas had captured Eldrich's attention in particular. It was of an angelic warrior combating a fearsome dragon. The warrior wielded a sword made of pure light, and a halo adorned his head. But a few details stood out to him. The sword's crossguard was of 2 angel wings, just like Mel's. In fact, the warrior looked like he could be Mel's twin. "Master," the studious onlooker called out. "Who are these 2? Mel stopped and regarded the picture with a mysterious look. That was Draconin himself. He turned to start to walk away. "Keep up, Eldrich." "Wait," Eldrich sped after his master while still looking back. "Who's the warrior?" "That is an old friend I haven't seen in a very long time." Amora crept low in the high balcony above the throne room. There was an uproar of commotion about the palace, something about an elder. Ever since her run-in with Grexis, she had decided to spy on the important happenings of the throne room. Sperrin knelt down next to her. "Can you believe it? An elder!" he exclaimed. "Shush, Sperrin," Amora chided. "They'll hear us." The proceedings continued on despite their chatter. A tall, slender man dressed in all white emerged from the entranceway into the throne room. They were too high up to make out any real details. Luckily for her, the throne room was designed to enhance every sound made down below. Behind the white man, a sturdy-looking boy flanked him. Amora couldn't make out much about the boy either, though he looked strong. "He travels with a kid?" Sperrin remarked inquisitively. "Be quiet," Amora reminded her careless stepbrother. "I wonder why they are together." "I bet I could take him," Sperrin added. He was always looking to prove his manhood. It didn't help that his new sister was constantly showing him up. Amora ignored her brother and listened intently as her father, the king, started his conversation. "Melchizedek," he said in a warm greeting. The king stood from his throne where he was seated and then gave a full bow. All in the room followed suit. The boy behind the elder shifted uneasily. Amora could tell the kid didn't know if he should bow too. Denigno finished with his greetings as he rose up and sat down on his throne. "It has been a very long time, old friend." "Indeed it has," the elder replied. "If you will forgive my inquisition, why have you come? Will the elders take a claim in our plight?" The elder let out a sigh that could be heard from all the way up to Amora's vantage point. "No, my friend, we will not." All in the room looked shocked, but none looked as hurt as King Denigno. "No. How could you not?" "Why do you march to war?" asked the white wise man. "Have you not heard of Ridgewood?" Amora noticed the boy behind the elder shook at the remark, as did she. "Blood for blood. Is that what the great king of Eterna has adopted as his philosophy?" "What would you have me do? Allow Rysval to march across the countryside, murdering all he chooses?" "Talk to Rysval. Seek a peaceful settlement," the elder requested with an implored tone. "I will not make deals with the dragon himself," Denigno spat. "That is exactly what you are doing. If you rise to war against this empire, you will only amplify the death toll." Amora nodded in agreement with the stranger. She hoped her father would listen, though she knew the war was all part of Grexus's treacherous plan. She wondered if somehow this sage knew it as well. "Many will die for freedom," Denigno justified. "No, many will die so you may hold on to your rule. Is your power worth the war?" "How dare you address the king this way?" Denigno rose from his throne, though this time it was not out of reverence. "I'll have you remember who you're speaking with." "Oh," the elder spoke as if it were telling an inside joke. "Perhaps I should say the same." The man began to glow with ethereal light that caused many to shield their eyes. The guards drew their weapons at the ready. A halo of light formed around the head of the elder. His white robes were replaced by golden armor. Wings of fire sprouted from his back, and all the warriors present dropped their weapons and fell to their knees. "King Denigno." The word king was given a sarcastic inflection. "Remember that all authority in this world, all those in the next, are granted by the Creator of all. He who is King of all kings has sent me here to provide you with a warning. Abandon this foolish endeavor. This war of yours will leave the world in darkness." Denigno was on his knees, humbled by the true nature of the elder. Regardless, he proudly stood and winced into the light, unable to really see Melchizedek. "I will not abandon my subjects. I will not allow that tyrant to take over my kingdom. I will do whatever it takes to protect my people, whatever the cost. Creator be damned if he stands against my kingdom." Melchi's light snuffed out. His wings dissipated and his robes returned. "So be it. I have said my piece." He turned on his heel and stormed towards the doors. Once again, with hope of avoiding Grexus's trap completely lost, Amora took her cue from the elder and left as well. "Come on, Sparren." She knew all was lost. The words, "whatever the cost," played through Eldrich's mind as Mel had about faced and passed him. That is exactly what Mayor Gowan had said. Mel halted and the king turned his attention to the boy. "That is the same reason the mayor gave for letting the soldiers come to Ridgewood." Eldrich could see the vivid death of the mayor playing out in his conscience. Whatever the cost, for his town. "What are you talking about, boy?" The king was still high-strung, but much of his venom was missing when he addressed the young lad. "I was there, in the bushes, when Gowan met with the army of soldiers." Eldrich spoke at the king, but his eyes revealed his mind to be elsewhere. "He said that he used my family and left them to die so that he could hide the soldiers as they came to the town. He was hoping to join the Empire to save the town, but he didn't." Tears were freely falling from his cheeks as he trembled with the memory. They all died because he did whatever it takes to save people. Eldrich then came to focus on the king. "Don't you see, sir? Doing whatever it takes isn't the answer." Mel was smiling at the boy as big as his mouth could allow. "You can kill 1,000,000 murderers, and all you have done is made more people die." The king walked up to the boy and placed his hand on his shoulder. He knelt down so they could be eye to eye. Denigno understood now that the victims in this war were going to join this boy's family. "You, boy, have done what an elder could not. I understand now what the Creator was trying to tell me. There will be no war if I can help it." Thank you for listening. I'm Bryce Newberger, and this has been the Kinship Chronicles, Children of the Phoenix. If you enjoyed what you heard and you'd like to purchase the full book, then either look up New Books on the Google Play bookstore, NEU Books, or simply click the link in the description. The book is only $5, and I appreciate your support.